They'll act like they don't care. They'll laugh louder, post more, pretend their world is better without you. But here's the truth. The louder their noise, the deeper their silence when no one's watching. Because deep inside, regret doesn't scream, it whispers. And those who lose someone truly rare, someone calm, loyal, and emotionally grounded, always hear that whisper. In this Stoic guide, we'll break down how to know they regret losing you, even when they act unbothered, and how your silence, composure, and strength make them face their deepest discomfort, the loss of control. 1. Their overconfidence becomes forced. At first, they'll look happy, smiling in pictures, acting free. But you'll notice something. It looks performed, not felt. A Stoic once said, "He who is at peace does not need to prove it." The same applies here. Real peace is silent, not showcased. When they start exaggerating their happiness, they're subconsciously trying to convince themselves they made the right choice. But if they were truly content, they wouldn't need to broadcast it. The more they flaunt their freedom, the more their regret quietly grows in the background. 2. They try to replace you too fast. When someone tries to replace you immediately, it's not love, it's distraction. They're running away from silence, because silence reminds them of you. In Stoic terms, attachment is weakness disguised as excitement. And when you were calm, collected, and unbothered by their games, you became their mirror. You showed them who they truly were. That's why they rush into new situations, because facing their own reflection hurts more than losing you. 3. They still watch you. Quietly. They may never text you, but they're watching. Your stories, your posts, your updates. Even if they unfollowed you, they'll check from another account, ask mutual friends, or stalk silently. Because humans have a strange habit. We value what we can't touch. Stoics teach us. What we withdraw from increases in value. When you withdrew your energy, your presence gained weight. Now, your silence echoes louder than any argument ever could. And every time they see your calm evolution, they feel the slow sting of loss. The kind that doesn't heal fast. 4. They get defensive when you're mentioned. If someone mentions your name, and they suddenly change the subject, mock you, or act indifferent, that's a sign, not of peace, but of emotional tension. Stoicism reminds us, indifference does not need to announce itself. If they truly didn't care, they wouldn't need to show it. Mockery, avoidance, or sudden silence when you're mentioned. That's ego-shielding pain. Their mind wants to stay strong, but their heart betrays them in moments of truth. 5. They seek validation through attention. They start posting cryptic quotes. They dress differently. They flirt more. They become louder, more noticeable, but strangely, more empty. This is what happens when a person regrets losing someone who gave them emotional stability. They try to find that sense of worth elsewhere, through external validation. But the Stoics teach that validation from others is temporary. Self-respect is eternal. And you, by not reacting, by not seeking attention in return, become untouchable. That's when regret hits them hardest. When your silence becomes proof of your evolution. 6. Their peace doesn't last. People who pretend to move on too fast eventually hit emotional burnout, because pretending not to care is exhausting. Your detachment becomes their reality check. They start remembering your calmness during storms, your ability to remain composed when they were chaotic. And that's when it hits them. They lost someone rare, not because you begged them to stay, but because you let them go in peace. That kind of strength burns into their memory forever. 7. They try to reappear casually. You'll notice small tests, a random message, a reaction, a casual, "Hey," not because they suddenly changed, but because regret makes people curious. They want to know, do you still care? Are you still hurt? Do I still have access? The Stoic response? You don't respond with anger nor excitement. You respond with stillness. You've mastered emotional control, something most people spend their lives chasing but never find. 8. They compare everyone to you. No matter how many new people they meet, they'll notice something missing. That calm energy, that silent strength, that emotional depth you carried. You were not chaos. You were peace. And peace becomes addictive once someone loses it. They'll search for you in every conversation, every new connection, every smile. But they'll never find the same frequency again. Because your value was not in words, but in presence. That's the deepest regret. Realizing too late that peace doesn't come from finding someone new, but from not losing the right one. 9. Their ego battles, their heart. The Stoics believe the greatest conflict is not between people, but within ourselves. And that's exactly what happens to them. Their ego tells them, you did the right thing. You don't need them. But their heart whispers, you lost someone who would have stayed loyal even in silence. They'll try to fight the truth, but every memory, every quiet night, every moment of reflection brings them back to that same realization. You were never the problem. They just weren't emotionally evolved enough to value you. 10. Your growth triggers their regret. The final and most powerful sign. They see you growing. Not bitter, not broken, but better. You're calm, focused, improving your life, glowing differently. You've mastered detachment, and that's something people fear. Because they can't control someone who doesn't seek control. You've become what the Stoics call self-contained. No longer driven by external validation, no longer reacting to emotional chaos. That's when regret becomes unbearable for them. Because they realize the person they once took for granted became everything they wished to be. Strong, peaceful, and free. Remember this. People regret losing what they didn't understand. But you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. The Stoic path is not about revenge or showing off your peace. It's about mastering your inner world so deeply that no one's absence can disturb it. Let them act unbothered. Let them pretend. You remain silent, composed, and grounded. Because true power is not loud. It's quiet confidence. And quiet confidence always leaves an echo. One they'll never forget. Quote to end video. The one who walks away in peace leaves behind the loudest silence. Anonymous Stoic. Subscribe for more powerful Stoicism and psychology. Comment, Stoic, if you agree.